Alright guys, welcome aboard again. Going to continue our California tour here. We last left off in Concord, which is on the east side of the San Francisco Bay Area. I thought we'd do just a straight shot all the way out to Lake Tahoe. Let me show you on the chart here what we're going to be doing. You can see our flight is pretty much straight shot. We're not going to be making too many turns or anything. It's going to be a heading of 047 once we get out of Concord here and head on out to the mountains and Lake Tahoe. It should be an interesting flight coming into the mountains here, so let's jump in the plane and get on our way. Get rid of the chart there. Let's get rid of our chocks and tie downs, and we'll adjust our volume here ever so slightly. All right, let's hop in the plane and get rolling here. We'll go ahead and use the checklist again this time. So landing gear is fixed. Parking brake is set. Avionics are off. Mixture is at idle cutoff. Battery switch on. Takes just a second there for that. Now we're kind of low on our fuel here, so what we're going to have to do is refuel. So you can see almost empty on the left tank here and pretty close on the right tank. So let's go ahead and refuel, and the nice thing is we can do that here in one of these. Here we go. All right, refill. There we go. Full up. And if we take a look at our gauges now, we are full left and right, so fuel quantity has been checked. An actuator panel. Press to test it, and it is lit up. Battery off. And then we'll do our walk around here. So primary flight controls. Let's go ahead and jump outside of the plane. So ailerons look good. Elevator looks good. Rudder looking good. Flap operation, we'll put the flaps all the way down. There's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Trim tab to neutral, so let's get back in the airplane here. And again, I always like to keep it just about on the bottom side of neutral. Baggage door, we'll make sure that's closed. Move this out of the way, and that's right there. Flap and ailerons, now we're doing the outside walk around here. So flaps and ailerons are good. Wingtips and lights, tie downs removed. Fuel tanks, check that. Fuel level, chocks have been removed. Tow bar is removed and stored. Engine compartment, where we take a look at the oil, then close it. Prop area, make sure there's no dings in it. Landing light, looks like it's good. Fins all look like they're good. Rudder, stabilizer, and trim, good. Tail cone, good. All right. Before start, parking brake is set. And that's right there. Circuit breakers, let's take a look at that. Make sure we don't have any pop breakers. Nope, everything looks good there. Carburetor heat, we'll make sure that's off. That's in the off position. Avionics are all off. Usually this one's left on for some reason. And ADF off and transponders off. All right, good. Fuel selector, desired tank. Let me get that out of the way. We'll start on the left. And we go to our start checklist here. So throttle open about 1/2 inch. There we go. Alternator and battery on. Fuel pump on. Mixture rich, and then idle cutoff. I'm going to leave it at rich right now. Prop area clear. Starter engaged. And we are started. Mixture is full rich. We've confirmed the engine is running. Magnetos are on both. Throttle lock is adjusted. And fuel pressure is in the green. Throttle 1000. Throttle that back just a little bit. Taxiing, we're going to clear the area, release the park brake, throttle up, check the brakes, check the steering. And that's our run up there. So let's go ahead and taxi on out. Let's get our controls back on here. Now I do have canned weather here just so we can see all the nice scenery. So we're just basically going to take the runway right over here. We're actually parked in between a couple of hangars. We'll throttle up. Check our brakes, they're working. Check our steering, it's working. Come around these hangars here and head for the end of the runway. And while we're taxiing, we can put our transponder to standby, turn our radios on here. We'll stop over here. Winds are calm and altimeter. Like I said, I got canned weather, so we'll just set that for 2992. Let's bring our checklist up again. Alright, so parking brake set. I'm just holding it right now. There we go. Parking brake is set. We'll throttle up to 2000. Let's go ahead and move that out of the way. And there's 2000. Magnetos. Let's go ahead and move that out of the way. Back to both. Back to right. And then back to both. Vacuum pressure over here is checked. Oil pressure is still in the green. Temperature is still down. Amp meter is charging. That's right there. Annunciator panel press test. Yep. Carburetor heat, check that off. Fuel pump off. And we check our fuel pressure and it's still good. Put the fuel pump back on. Put our mixture back to rich. And throttle retard. And we'll go all the way back, make sure the engine's still running before takeoff. Master is on, alternator is on. Flight instruments, let's go ahead and set that now. That looks good. Attitude indicator, we're just making sure that you know, it's right in the center. And this should be at 2992. That looks good. Other than that, we just got to set our DG. So we're, let's see here, that's about 350. Let's come back down here, set that for 350. And of course, going all the way around. 350. Right there. Alright, fuel selector, it's on the left. Fuel pump on, which we have on. Engine checks checked, so we've got oil pressures coming up. Fuel pressure is good. Or sorry, oil temperature, and then fuel pressure is in the green. Carburetor heat is off. Mixture is set for full rich. Flaps are up. Trim tab is set. Controls are free. Door is going to get latched right now. Alright, for takeoff we're going to line up on the runway, not use any flaps. We're not going to set any trim that's not already set. We're going to power up. We're going to rotate about 65, climb out at about 75 or 80. Once we're airborne, we'll hit the brakes, and we're not doing any flaps, so that's good. Alright, we're ready for takeoff here. The only thing we got to do that's not on the checklist is turn our landing light on. There we go, and our strobes on. And while I'm here, as always, I like to turn my panel lights up a little bit. And we can set our radios if we're going to be doing anything, but we're just going to stay VFR. We're not going to talk to anybody. We will just depart runway 14, and then we're going to turn to a heading of, I'm looking at my other chart, 047. So let's get rolling and take off for Lake Tahoe. Alright, parking brake is released. take, looks like runway 14. So we'll make a left-hand turn after departure. 14 right here. We'll make a left-hand turn after departure, it looks like, to a heading of 047. As my simulator catches up, and actually, you know what? I noticed one thing. My script stopped here, so I'm going to go ahead and restart those. That'll take just a second. And the script modifies, I've got a couple of things here on my rendering settings, and what that does is it actually boosts my frame rate quite a bit. I get about an extra 10 frames, excuse me, with the settings that I have in there. And then this little pop-up here will go away in a second. Alright, so we are going to double check our heading right here. As you can see, I'm 14, and this is pointing to 1, 2. So let me go ahead and adjust that a little bit more here. I might have set it a little bit wrong there to start out with. Alright, 14, we're on runway 14, looking good. Alright, so we're going to turn left, heading 047. So before I do that, I'm actually going to put my heading bug on that, just for reference. It's about right there. Alright, we're ready for takeoff. Let's go ahead and power up. Here's 50, 55, 60, 65, rotate. Stutter there with the scenery. Go ahead and trim my rudder here a little bit. Gonna hold about 80 knots here for the climb out. Alright, there's 500 feet. Let's make our left turn. Goodbye, Concord. Here, we're going to go ahead and get established on our course right here. And since we're going to be climbing out over the mountains, we're going to need to get up kind of high. So I think we're going to be heading for 11,500 feet. And so we're about 1,000 feet AGL now. So I'm going to start to nose over. Start picking up a little bit of airspeed. And we'll put our transponder to altitude. We'll take a look at the chart to see if we can tune in some nav aids to kind of help us out a little bit. Maintain this airspeed here. Looks like we're about 85 knots. Flying right by Travis Air Force Base, which is down at the end over here of the, I guess, Delta or whatever you want to call it here. Back Bay area. Not sure if that's the proper name. What we got there? Looks like an older airfield or something right there below us. Nice smooth day here today. Let's take a look at our GPS and see what we're going to see. This is Travis Air Force Base. We'll still stay well out of their airspace here on our heading. zoom out quite a bit here. We'll leave it right there. And I think I'm going to use the autopilot here a little bit while we climb out. So I'm going to turn on the main autopilot. I'm going to put heading hold on, so I'll hold our heading at least. Getting up to 4,000 feet. Let's go ahead and lean our mixture out. You can hear our RPM kind of jump up a little bit, and our EGT coming up. Go landing light off and fuel pump off. I'm taking a look at the chart over here, and there really isn't much. There's no VOR that we can kind of fly directly to. There's one over here. It is Placerville. Our course kind of takes us to the, here, let me show you on the chart. Kind of takes us to the right of it. There's like Tahoe up here, and here's Placerville. See any other VORs around Lake Tahoe other than way off to the north here. I guess we can tune this one in. Placerville, what is it? 115.5, or actually Placerville's the airport. The VOR is Hangtown. So 115.5, let's go ahead and tune that in. We'll use that as a reference. We'll put that on, you know, I like doing it the easy way. Just bring up my map here. I think that's it right there. H and W, yep, that's the one. Let's tune VOR1, 115.5. We'll just set a course here direct to it. Not that we're going to follow them, but we'll just keep an eye on it. As we get closer and closer, the needle should start swinging out a little bit because we're actually going to the right of it. So this course line right here is a direct to. If we were to fly direct to it, we'd be heading about a heading of 035. So as we're climbing out here, the needle will start to swing out to the left once we get a little bit closer to the VOR. And we remain to the right of the course. So I'm keeping my power up. Obviously the model here in this Just Flight Piper is a little overpowered. You can see that even at full power, at least on the climb, we're at 2,700 feet. But if I was to nose over a little bit, it would jump up quite a bit. So we'll maintain full power into the climb here. 2,700, I think, is the max continuous power in the real airplane anyway. So that's at least jives with reality. Take a look out here at the Central Valley as we head towards Sacramento. We'll be flying through the southern portion of Sacramento. I think we got the Travis Air Force Base out here somewhere. I'm not sure if we already passed it or not. I think we did. I think that's it over there. Let's take a look inside. Yeah, it should be just off to our side. So that looks like that's Travis right there. Wrong way. Let me zoom in. There we go. And Travis right about our 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and do a flyby from here. volume down just a little bit. So flight time out to the Lake Tahoe here is probably going to be about another 45 minutes or so. We'll see how it goes. Go ahead and nose over just a little bit, start picking up some more speed. We're at 8,500 already. Like I said, aiming for 11,500. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to hold at 9,500 for now. We don't really need to climb up that high until we get a little bit closer towards Sacramento and have to get up over the mountains. Nice view of the Central Valley here. Looking back towards San Francisco. San Francisco's just off to our left here on the view. Like I said, we're kind of going by Travis Air Force Base off the left side here. Just under the wing, I think. Let's pop outside. Have a look around here a little bit. The view's going to jump around here. Let me just zoom in a little bit. I want to take a look at the Travis here. Alright, there we go. There's Travis. I have fond memories of Travis. I used to be stationed there back when I was active duty Air Force. Long, long time ago. My daughter was actually born on the base there. At the base hospital. Let's take a look at our altitude here. What was I shooting for? I think I was going for 9,500 and we skipped that, so we might as well just keep going up to 11,500 at this point. Too busy reminiscing and looking at the scenery. Going up to 10,500 right now. You can see our VOR over at, what was it called again? Hangtown is starting to swing out to the left. And we are at 10,600 now. Another 900 feet to go. And we're heading out over those mountains over there. Sacramento coming up here in the distance. Another 500 feet to go here, and then we'll click on our secret altitude. Just Flight was nice enough to put a secret altitude hold. Normally this autopilot does not have an altitude hold. But they made one right here with that little button. Go ahead and throttle down a little bit and lean our mixture out even more. And 200 feet to go. there's 11,500 coming up, so I'm just going to click my altitude hold right there. Get our yoke back on. Let the autopilot settle down here. And we'll throttle back to our cruise setting here, which should be about 2650. Looks like we got our cruise speed set, got our altitude on hold, got our heading on hold here. Double check this. Let's see, so we're kind of heading just to the right of this little airport, whatever that is. Let's take a look at that. This is Sacramento VOR. And what is that airport? 2CL9. Let's see what that is. Taking a look at my chart here. And it is past, it's a Sacramento VOR. Lots of little private airstrips here. I don't know if that's one of them. See if I zoom out a little bit more, see what else I see. Okay, there's Mathers. Well, in any case, we're heading in the right direction. Unfortunately, they don't have the identifiers for all of the private airports here. I can show you it on the chart right here. So you can see on these little private one right here, right next to Rancho Murrieta. Another private one here, another private one here, and they don't have the identifier on them. On the chart, it just says private and the name. So I'm not quite sure which one, at least looking at the chart right here, which ones are on the GPS here, but quite a bit of them. Anyway, we see Sacramento off to our left here, Mathers, so I know we're heading in the right direction. And we are heading for Lake Tahoe, Tango Victor Lima. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Just double check our RPM setting here. It sounds a little bit low. Keep our airspeed up. Starting to see Sacramento off in the distance here. Alright, so while we're cruising here, I'm going to go ahead and take just a short break, jump out and get another bottle of water here. Be right back. Alright guys, I'm back in the cockpit. Sorry, I had a phone call I had to take. So let's take a look. There's Sacramento. Now, I was planning on doing this flight just out to Sacramento here, trying to keep them kind of short, but pretty boring flight flying through the Central Valley, so not much to see other than all the farmland. So I figured we'd just continue on and head out into the mountains over here and check out Lake Tahoe. Now this is all Ortho4XP scenery I have throughout the entire route here. I'm pretty sure. And that's about what the Central Valley looks like. All agricultural stuff. This almost looks like one of these private airstrips right there, a grass strip. Double checking my RPM again, a little bit high there. Want to keep it below 2700. Now let's take a look at our GPS here and see what we see. So we are heading for TVL, Tango Victor Lima, out over the mountains. And again, we got a lot of little private airstrips all around here. I'm surprised at how many there are throughout the area. But 061, there we go, I see that one. That is Cameron Park. So that is this one just off to the side here. And if I bring up our VFR chart, that's it right there. You can see our route goes to the south of it. So it looks like we're on our heading here. Alright, let's jump back in the plane here. See if we have our airport on the GPS yet. No, we still got a little ways to go here. Our airport's kind of out in this direction, H and W. Take a look at the yeah, that's our VOR that we're tuned into right now. So we're going to fly by that. We've still got a little ways past that. Now there's Squaw Valley, which is on the sort of northwest side of Lake Tahoe. We can tune that in. That's 113.2. So we'll just put that in directly here into VOR2. 113.2. 113.2. There we go. Spin that around. There we go. What I want to do is put it into the DME here too. Let's see if we can get that tuned in for a little bit of distance. There we go, 61 nautical miles. And again, I said that's sort of off to the north. So we're actually closer to the airport than 60, 61 nautical miles. You can see some of the nice scenery we've got over here though with the ortho as we head out of the Sacramento area, or at least the southern portion of it. Start heading into the mountains here, headed for Lake Tahoe. Let's see what airport we got. We got something coming up over here. So there's our Squaw Valley VOR, and there's our airport right there, and that's Tahoe. So we'll adjust our heading just a little bit. It looks like Tahoe is, oh, what is that? That's 10, 20, 30, 40, about 45, 045. But that's actually pretty good because we want to come in from the south side of it, or south end of it here, and kind of turn in inbound. So there you can see KTVL. That's our Lake Tahoe airport. And what's our range here? 120. So that means, oh no, that's ground speed. What am I thinking of? Where's the range here? 100. So I'm guessing that's 50 miles out to the end, the edge of the display. Something like that. All right, so let's get ourselves sort of briefed on our approach here. So I'll bring up the chart right now. There we go. All right, so you can see we're going to kind of come in from the southwest side, and we don't have to worry about the weather because we're doing canned weather here. But let's see what we can see over here. We have got a field elevation of 6,200 and is that 69? Let's just call it 6,270. So quite a bit high. We're currently at 11,500. So to descend down, we're going to go 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, almost 5,000 feet or so. Just over 5,000 feet. We do have some ridges over here. This one here, we're going to try to fly to the south of that. I'm assuming that on the what we're seeing out here, I think that's that right there. So we're going to fly to the other side of it. I don't know. We'll see. But it is displayed on the chart here as the high point, at least right there. That one's almost 10,000 feet. Another one just passed it, 10,000. And looks like we got a little road here. We'll see if we can see that road once we cross it. We'll really kind of just follow that road in, right along this little valley, and head inbound here. Now I'm looking at this here is an elevation right there. It's 7,000 feet right there. So we should be able to fly through this valley while we're doing our descent and be at a decent altitude once we actually come in to the airport. So we'll keep an eye out for that little valley right there. And we'll get our situational awareness right here on the GPS. We kind of pretty much on our heading, what we are planning to do. Take a look out there at some of that nice mountain scenery. It's coming up to meet us here. It's starting to get taller and taller. See some of the shadows from the clouds in X-plane right here. We're just kind of coming up to the mountains here. We're just at the start of them right now. So I see a road kind of coming up this way. I wonder if that's the little valley we were thinking of going through. I guess we could try. I think it's actually right here. We could try to triangulate. Take a look at the map here. So let's see. VOR2 is. Let's go ahead and do from. Spin this around until we get a from indication and get it centered. A little bit too far there. Touchy. Alright, so that's about centered. Let's zoom in on it. Alright, so from this VOR, we are on a radial of 194, something like that. So if we bring up our chart, and can I zoom out here? Excuse me, zoom out a little bit. So that's this VOR right here, and we go 194. So there's 19, about almost on this radial. So that puts us down here someplace, and we triangulate on the other one, which was this one right here that we've got. So if I tune the same thing from, or do the same thing with that one, go get a from reading, and we should be someplace right there, about 150. So if we do 150, we're right about here, because there's 150. So this is the location that we're at, and I think we're looking at maybe this route, this little valley right through here, which goes well down to the south. So there's a little way of using the VORs there to triangulate from two different ones, and you basically get a cross section on where you're at. Yeah, so it looks like the valley we were going to kind of go through is right here. Yeah, well, we'll keep cruising along here. Looks like we got about another 35 or 40 miles to go. Alright guys, just finished eating my lunch here while we cruise along. Yeah, it looks like this is the valley that we're going to fly along. So we might just drop off the autopilot here in a little bit. Follow that right along to our airport. Go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. I guess that's good. Again, keeping my airspeed up a bit. Or my RPM. Trying to get us best airspeed here. So it looks like we're about 32 miles from this VOR, whatever it was called. This is the one that's just to the south of the airport. So you can swing that back around and get an idea of what radio we're on. Oh, that's the one that's back behind us already. Because that's showing that we're on a radio 0. What is that? 08? Oh no, sorry, 18. So we're just about due south of it. And let me double check. I don't remember which one I'm on. 132 or 113.2. Okay, that's the one that so this is the one that's over by the lake here. That's that one right there. You can see east, yeah, so we're almost due south of it right now. And it's about distance-wise about the same, right? So 30 miles from that, it's probably inside of a, 27 miles or something to the airport here. So I'm guessing the airport is someplace back here. I don't know. We'll find out. Or is it around this peak? Is it past this peak a little bit? So 50, that's 25. We're pretty close. I'm guessing it's in front of that peak. So we're getting pretty close here. Let's go ahead and bring up our checklist and see what we got here. Climb, yep, we already did that. Cruise, we're doing that. Descent, we're going to adjust the power and throttle up every 1,500 feet. Approach, fuel selector is getting selected for us manually, or automatically I should say, by the plane. Fuel pump on, mixture is set. Again, it's a high altitude airport, so we're really going to rely on our EGT here and the engine sound to make sure that we're at peak performance. Flaps are going to get set at 103 indicated max, and we're going to trim for 70 on our approach. And then we got our shutdown checklist. So go ahead and turn our landing light on, the fuel pump's on, and again, everything else is ready for arrival into Lake Tahoe. Yeah, this looks like that little ravine. There's the road right there. Follows it around, and I'm guessing the airport's, or yeah, I can start seeing a lake right there. So I think we're on the, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe the airport is on the other side of this ridge. If it is, we'll have to kind of scoot around it or something. I don't want to climb up any higher. This would be a nice spot to do a flyby. See us heading out into the mountains. Yeah, I'm thinking that because that lake kind of looks like it's a little bit farther. It looks like it goes on the other side there. I don't know. Then again, maybe it is the airport's back down here, back behind this little ridge. It's blocking our view right now. Yeah, I think that's what it is, because if I look at the chart, the mountains past the airport, like in our view. So let me bring that up. So here we're pretty much on this course right here, heading for the airport, but you can see the mountains right here. And you can see this peak here is at 10,000 feet. So that's the peak that we're looking at straight ahead. And the airport down here, again, is at 6,269. So yeah, the airport's going to be right down here. And you can see, yeah, we're kind of coming up right through this valley. We're aiming pretty much right for it. Just adjust our course here ever so slightly. And that should bring us nicely into a sort of a little base leg to final. So I'm thinking we could start our descent down here a little bit. I mean, we do got to go down 5,000 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the autopilot, disengage it, and we'll fly the remainder manually. Now you can see the lake over here. Let's put some waves in there. That'll make it look a little bit better too. There we go. I don't know if that made it look better or not, but we're going to power back a little bit and start our descent. So being that we're at 6,300 feet almost at airport elevation, it's going to be a little bit different than landing, you know, down towards sea level. So we're going to keep our speed up a little bit higher on our final approach and landing. So whereas we would probably maintain 80 on final, 70 over the numbers, and then gradually reducing that until we touch down. Probably going to add about 10 knots to that, so we'll try to maintain 90 on the approach, 80 over the numbers, and we'll see how that works out. So I'm wondering if this is the airport right there. Yes, it is, right there. So we're basically going to follow this roadway. Excuse me. We're going to follow this roadway down. So I'm going to go ahead and start throttling back. Really start our descent down here. least that's my plan. I think I'm going to plan to basically follow the roadway right into the airport, because that's exactly what it does. We got a couple of these bridges here that we got to kind of get over and around. You can see the runway right there. So what I'm going to do is kind of turn inbound right here and right past this little ridge. Really start our descent now, and then head in for the runway that way. So I'm going to go ahead and power all the way back. We're already only at 100 indicated, so I could actually put in 10 knots of, or first notch of flaps there, just to get some drag out here on our descent. I'm going to go second notch of flaps here, looking for a little bit more drag here. Really dropping out of the sky here, close to 1,800 something feet per minute. Just going to power up and back just to make sure we clear out our spark plugs, don't get any fouling. Now in real life, I'd probably do some turns out here to help us get slowed up, or at least maybe a little bit of a slip or something, because we are pretty close. We'll probably end up doing that as we turn final here. Alright, I'm going to go full flaps. We are pretty fast, but we're within the flap limit. Start turning for final here. And I think we're going to make it down without having to do any kind of slip or anything. Okay, so we're shooting for about 90. We'll see how that works with the flap settings here. Holding about 83 or so. Looks like some of my ortho here is a little off there. Right over the airport, it looks a little bit lower. So shooting for about 80 over the numbers here. Flared a little bit high here. Plane is definitely acting a little different compared to landing down at sea level. Alright, pretty decent landing anyway. Get ourselves slowed up. Flaps up. Alright guys, welcome to Lake Tahoe. Hope you enjoyed that little scenic flight. Pretty straightforward, but it was an interesting approach through the mountains there. So if you like these videos again, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the bell button, you'll get notified when I post a new video. This little series, doing probably a video a day here for the remainder of it. And I usually post those around 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern, US time. Alright, let's see where we want to go here. I guess we can follow this little taxiway over here. We'll park over by this jet. Get our transponder to off. Fuel pump off, landing light off, strobes off. Yeah, look at our altitude there. 6,250-ish feet. So like I said, go ahead and hit the like button if you like videos like this. Helps me out with the channel a bit here on YouTube. And you can follow along on my my tour of California. I think we're going to park it right here. And this will work for me. Good. Alright, let's go ahead and shut down here. So basically everything off. Make sure idle cutoff. Put that to off, ignition, and turn our fuel tanks off. And we can remember to turn all our radios off here too. We already got the transponder off. Let's pop the door open. Alright guys, well welcome to Lake Tahoe. Like I said, hope you enjoyed that flight. We'll see you on the next one. We'll do a little flight someplace else through California. Till next time, bye.